Hello, and thank you very much for inviting us tonight. I'm Patti Christopher, the voter registration chairperson for the Newcastle County League of Women Voters in Delaware. The League was founded 100 years ago by amazing women who fought for the right to vote. Over these 100 years, the League has continued to fight this fight for the right to vote. Prior to the pandemic, we would go out to schools, churches, high schools to hold training and registration classes. Needless to say, the pandemic hit and we're no longer there. So what is the League of Women Voters of Delaware doing for voting in Delaware during COVID? Are you confused about voting? You're not the only one. Here's what we're going to cover. Review importance of voting, review how to register, review important election dates, review how to vote this year, and review helpful websites. I have two wonderful League members who will be following up with me and going into those. Why vote? Every vote matters. Voting is a right that our generations have struggled for. It's a civic duty. It's your future. Bad politicians get voted into office by good people who don't vote. Vote with purpose. Your vote counts. It does count. Vote down the ballot. What do we mean by that? We mean you want to vote on your ballot for everyone that's there. Hopefully you'll become a voter smart person through the websites that Kim and Jill will be talking about. Vote for all the elections, the general, the primary, the school boards, the city government. Remember, it's the grassroots elections that help these politicians rise up to where they are now. If you don't vote, your voice isn't going to be heard. What are the registration requirements for voting? First, you have to be a U.S. citizen, live in Delaware, be 18 years or older on the day of the election day. If you're a convicted felon, you can vote if you've completed your sentence and was not convicted for murder, sex offense, or bribery. How to register to vote. If you have a driver's license, you probably have already registered the DMV. You're not sure? Check in. ivote.de.gov/voterview to be sure. Again, these websites are going to be followed up with Kim Wells, who will really go into more detail. If you need to register, equally go on the ivote.de.gov/voterview. You'll need your name, address, phone number, birth date, and driver's number. If you do not have a driver's license, you can enter the last 4 digits of your social security number by just adding SS number in your last 4 digits. Or if you have a state Medicaid number, you can equally use that. Make sure you enter your party affiliation. If you want to be an independent, then you write no party affiliation or unaffiliated. Here in the state of Delaware, we have an independent party. So therefore, if you put independent, you're going to come up as an independent party member. Remember, if you don't register as one of the primary Democrat or Republicans, you can't vote in the primary here in Delaware. After you register, within a couple of weeks, you'll get this card. This is the sample polling card, and everybody sort of looks at it and they're not quite sure. Stick it in your wallet. It's very, very good. So what happens is the card comes, as I said, usually a couple of weeks after you register. Very informative. Obviously, Delaware polling place card. It shows you the election district you're in, the state representative district, the state senate district, the county. S for Sussex, you'd have Newcastle and or Kent, county council district, and then your party. And as you see there, not being Democrat or Republican, it's unaffiliated. Polling place. That will show you where you're currently supposed to register. Now, for instance, we are down the street from Mary Campbell, which is a home for handicapped adults. We've always voted there for 20, 30 years. Due to the COVID, they're not allowing people to come in for obvious reasons. So we've all been regrouped to Brandywine School District. So hence, a while ago, we all received new cards stating Brandywine High School. Obviously, your name and address. You don't need this card to go to the polls with you, but it's always good to have it just so that you know where you're going. And it also helps you look at the various state districts, et cetera, that you want to look for. Now, the general election is November the 3rd. You must register by October 10th to vote. And at this point, I'm going to turn this over to the very capable hands of our chairperson for Election Reform Committee, Jill Itzkowitz.
Hi, I'm Jill Itzkowitz, and I head the Election Committee. And our primary purpose of the Election Committee is to advocate for bills in the State House to facilitate voting. And I'm going to review how you can vote this year. I don't know if you all remember, but during the spring, there was a bill passed by the State House that allowed voters to vote by mail only this year due to COVID. How do you vote by mail? The Department of Elections will mail all registered voters a request for a vote by mail ballot 45 days prior to the general election. And remember, this is just a request to vote by mail. It's not a ballot. If you requested an absentee ballot, and we'll go over that, you won't receive a vote by mail ballot. If you'd like to vote by mail, you can complete your ballot request form and mail, fax, or email back to the Department of Elections. Starting October 4th, you will receive a ballot in the mail with a posted paid return envelope. You fill out the ballot and put it in the return envelope. Don't forget to sign the back of the envelope. That's your authorization that you are who you say you are. Now you can mail the ballot back using a United States mail, or if you don't feel safe that way, you can use a secure drop box at the Department Elections locations. In Newcastle County, there's a drop box at the lobby of the Carvel building, and also in Newcastle at the Elections Training Center. The Department of Elections will load the ballots in their scanners 30 days prior to the election, but they will not tabulate until the end of day, election day. So try to mail the ballots back as early as you can. Now, this is a very helpful website that Kim will review. It shows you the status of your ballots. It's on ivote.de.gov. And you can see that where they sent the ballots, when they sent the ballots, if they received your ballot, and if your ballot was accepted. Some people will vote by absentee. You can usually, in a normal year, request an absentee ballot. If you're sick or disabled, you'll be out of town on election day, incarcerated, providing constant care for someone, or in the military service. This year, if you're sheltering in place due to COVID, you can also use the absentee ballot, and you can use the excuse you're sick or disabled. To request an absentee ballot, you can go to the online portal or mail, fax, or email the request. If you're a permanent absentee voter, you will receive a ballot automatically and do not have to reapply. You will receive a ballot in the mail with the postage paid return envelope. Just like the vote by mail, you fill out the ballot and put it in the return envelope. You sign the back of the envelope, and you can either mail it back using the postal service or use one of the drop boxes. There's an option to electronically deliver and return your ballot. You can use mail, fax, or email and you can do this option this year. Now we're going to talk about how do you vote at the polls. Most, as Patti mentioned, most polling places will be open with perhaps the exception of polls in senior centers. If your polling place has changed, you will be notified by the Department of Elections. And if you're not quite sure, you can go to ivote.de.gov and see your polling location. The Department of Elections is in the process of recruiting many poll workers, and they're doing a great job. And if you're interested, please access this website to apply. You can vote at the polls, even if you requested a vote by mail ballot, but you did not mail it back. If you mailed it back, you can't go to the polls physically. Note that you may hold up the line at the polls as they ensure you did not vote by mail. They just want to make sure you're not voting twice. And the polls will be very safe. All the voting equipment will be cleaned and sanitized after each voter, and masks will be required and social distancing practiced. Also this year, when you vote, there's new election machines, and they have a printout of your ballot. Before, we never had a physical printout of ballots, and now we do. It makes the election safer. Just look at the printed ballot and make sure it reflects your choices before finalizing your vote. And just one more word about voting this year. I read recently that if you have a plan to vote before Election Day, you're more apt to follow through and vote. So have a plan, either vote by mail, vote absentee, or physically go to the polls. And we just have a slide on the census. The census has been extended to the end of October. It's a very important thing you should do. It'll determine our congressional representation, our federal funding each year, and provide data that will impact your community. So please fill out your census. I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Kim, and she's going to review some helpful websites.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Kim Wells, and I am, as Jill said, going to actually walk through some of the websites that we've been talking about. I'll start with the voter portal for the state of Delaware, ivote.de.gov, and then we'll turn to the vote411.org, which is a voter guide created by the League of Women Voters. So let me just share my screen. And to get started with either of these websites, open up a new browser tab, and you can just type the name of the website in. So I'm going to type in ivote.de.gov. And this is the portal where you can do various self-service activities. If you don't have a computer, you can, of course, call the Department of Elections, and they'll help you with some of these as well. If you have not registered yet, click this on the left, not yet registered, and that's where you'll walk through registering for the first time. If you are registered, you're going to put your name and your date of birth and your driver's license number in here, and it will look up your registration for you. And one thing that we've noticed is you have to put in your name exactly as you registered. So in my case, if I put in Kim instead of my full name Kimberly, it's not going to find my record. I have to put in my name the same way that I registered. Now I've already done this. I would put in my date of birth using the drop lists. I'd put in my driver's license number here, and I'd click I'm not a robot, and then click the lookup button. I've already done this, and I have it open in another window. And this is what you'll see when it successfully finds your voter record in the state database. It'll show your name, your information, your party affiliation and such. Some of the main things you want to know you can do are edit your registration. That's this button on the left here. That's if you move, you have a new address, you need to notify the Department of Elections. You can do it online here. If you get married, you have a new last name, or if you want to change the party that you're affiliated with, you do all of that with edit your registration, that left-hand button. If you want to request an absentee ballot or a vote by mail ballot, maybe for some reason you didn't return the one that was sent to your home for this upcoming election, you can use this third button here. It says vote by mail or absentee ballots. That's a ballot request form that you can fill out online. But the main thing I wanted to highlight to you is if you are voting by mail or you're voting absentee, you can check the status of your ballot. And you do that right here in the center of the page. The first thing you want to do is select which election that you're checking the status for. So if I select the primary election, we can see that my ballot was sent to me in August, I returned it in September, and it was accepted by the Department of Election. These green colors are really good. We want to see green. And then if I choose general election off the drop list, we'll see that the ballot has been sent to me. In my case, it was an absentee ballot that was emailed, but it would show this, whether it was sent to you by postal mail or if it was mail-in or absentee, the statuses show up here. When I return it, this will turn green, and when they accept it, this will turn green. Returned means that it's been received at the Department of Elections office and they've scanned the barcode, which is on the mail-in election ballot. Accepted means that they've checked that you've signed it, they've opened it up, they've looked inside and seen that you marked the ballot properly by filling in the little bubbles, and it's ready to be scanned in and counted. It doesn't mean it's been counted yet. It means that it all looks good once they received it. Some other things we can do here are find our polling place, shows right below. You can get a sample ballot. Now that it knows you and your districts and where you are, you can pull up a sample ballot here. You can see all the districts that you're in, including all of them, your county council district, your school district, your state representative district, your Senate district. They all have little different district numbers. And this one in the middle, election district, kind of encompasses all of those. So election district 10 means to the Department of Elections that it's County Council 6, Representative District 27, Senate District 10. And then finally, you can look at your voting history down below. It'll just show kind of a little interesting list of all the times you voted in Delaware. It was recorded here. So that is ivote.de.gov, the voter registration portal for the Delaware Department of Elections. Next, I'm going to show you the Vote 411 voter guide by the League of Women Voters. Before I show it to you, I want to play this video.
When you vote, something powerful happens to your voice. Your single ballot becomes a megaphone. You stand out and tell your community and our nation what you want for our future. Vote411.org is your tool for accurate and unbiased election information on the issues that affect you and the people you care about. Through Vote 411, you can register to vote using our online form that only takes a few minutes to complete, available in multiple languages. Check your registration status and find out where to vote right on the Vote 411 homepage, and get important up-to-the-minute information on the elections happening in your state and local community through the Vote 411 interactive map. Your voice is strong and important. It is a critical part of our democracy. Vote411.org is your tool for all the election information you need. Get online, get the facts, and make your voice heard on Election Day. Powered by the League of Women Voters Education Fund.
So that time you heard it, I assume?
Yes.
Yep. Loud
Yes,
and clear.
yes. It was good. Did we want to run the Colbert video or the?
If you can do that, I think that one is great. I saw that a while back.
I don't know how to do this on Zoom.
Yeah, I've got that one ready to go too. So this is now a big video editing task for you, Brittany.
Plenty of time this week. Don't worry about it. I would
Okay.
much rather get a lot and then we can kind of slice it together and make it look great. You know, that's much better than worrying about any kind of connections and stuff on Friday too.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and play that one in case we want to do it that way.
Hello, Delaware. I'm Stephen Colbert. Do you want to vote in the 2020 election? Of course you do. Everybody knows Delaware is the smartest state in the nation. Well, I'm going to show you how, because it's time for part 10 of our 50-part series, Better Know a Ballot. Tonight, the greatest state in the nation, Delaware, the voting Blue Hens. What makes Delaware the greatest? Well, did you know Delaware was the very first state to ratify the Constitution? You were into this country before it was cool. You're the hipsters of democracy. Another fun fact, Delaware is one of just 50 states that have been selected to vote in this year's presidential election. So here's how you can get started voting in Delaware right now. We've made it easy by putting the resources you need on betterknowaballot.com. The link for your state is below. First, make sure you're registered to vote. You can register online. Just use our link. The deadline is October 10th, so do it now. In Delaware, all registered voters will automatically receive a ballot request form in the mail. Carefully fill it out, sign it, and email, fax, or mail it back to your county elections office. Ballot requests must be received by October 30th, but if you want to make sure you get your ballot in time to vote, do it now. When you get your ballot, fill it out carefully, sign it, and mail it to the address provided on the envelope as soon as possible. You can also hand deliver it to your county Department of Elections. It must be received by November 3rd, so the U.S. Postal Service recommends mailing it no later than October 27th. So play it safe and just do it right away. Now, Delaware does not have early in-person voting, but you can still go to the polls on Election Day, November 3rd. Wear a mask, wash your hands, go vote. So there you are, Delaware. Know another smart Delawarean who wants to vote? Just send them this video and spread the word using the hashtag BetterKnowABallot. Delaware, you may be the lowest state in elevation, but it's time to be highest in terms of voter turnout. So go vote.
Thank you very much for hosting us tonight. Very sorry we could not be there in person, but needless to say, we're showing you all the options and ways we can handle this election during the pandemic, and there's no need to fear, so go out and vote.